We're going to talk about the Indiana fever more specifically. Now, all three of these entities have responded to the allegation: Erica Wheeler, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin. Recently, Caitlin Clark posted something that will definitely get you to ponder. She stated, "I don't think anyone in our league should be facing any sort of racism." However, there is more to this tale, and the way she and Kelsey Mitchell are managing the circumstance is intriguing. I would want to request a tiny favor before we proceed. Please take a time to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you find it entertaining. Although more than 98% of you watch for free, it has a significant impact on us. I really appreciate it. Now, let's back to the video. You won't believe what's going on in the WNBA at the moment. Racism among fans is being called out. Indeed, Alyssa Thomas is accusing certain Indiana Fever supporters of using racial insults and being horrible bigots. Although it's a severe claim, the lack of video evidence is an issue. People are therefore forced to question whether it truly occurred. Everyone is trying to piece together the truth. It's like a mystery. The allegations made by WNBA players that Indiana Fever fans are vicious, racist. Now, all three of these entities have responded to the allegations. They're just launching racial slurs all over. This is when things start to get interesting. Even more outrageous. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark aren't keeping quiet, they're speaking up. And what they have to say is completely unexpected. You'll want to hear this, I promise. Actually recorded or anything anywhere. And yes, getting booed at an away stadium or an away arena is something that happens in sports. People happen to have cell phones with audio devices. Clark and Mitchell recently disclosed some startling information, so pay attention. They're not simply dealing with the problem. They're offering completely new perspective, and I can guarantee that no one expected this. Is that the norm? Is that enough for now multiple players to just be calling a fan base just label them? Seems like that could happen too, but I guess not. I guess that's not possible. Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think there's nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism. Caitlin Clark isn't going to hold back. She's been quite open about her feelings regarding these racist claims. The nicest part is that she's not only concentrating on the negative, even if it's obviously uncomfortable. Instead, she is using this opportunity to highlight all the positive developments in the WNBA. Hey, Uncle Clark spoke out about, well, she answered a question about all of the online discourse and trolls, but there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20+ years or whether they're new fans in our league. You know, those aren't fans, those are trolls. And it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing. The fact that Clark is discussing why she first fell in love with the league is quite amazing. She is all about the amazing players, outstanding teams, and all the wonderful narratives that ought to be acknowledged. She seems to be reminding everyone of our shared passion for the game. Clark isn't the only one speaking up though. So many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And I was just even looking to see what like the big WNBA people, these like legacy fans that you know, hey all the new fans. I genuinely think that there's going to be some responses being like, oh, she's trying to deflect the topic off the real thing. She's trying to focus on basketball, and this is bigger than basketball. For me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up one. Now let's add Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell. And wow, their responses are excellent, thoughtful, and professional. Because of this response, people are currently pursuing them. Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell are also taking part, demonstrating what real professionalism looks like. Mitchell makes it very obvious that we only have control over what happens with our employees and within our company music, and we don't condone such behavior. For us, it seems like they are creating a line in the sand that says, this is who we are and this is what we stand for. However, Mitchell isn't allowing this drama to distract her team. Rather, she has a laser-like focus on the important things. Winning games is what matters, she said. That's a great example of teamwork. After the break, it got better. So, the future is very bright for us. I think that for us, We erase our professionalism in a lot of different ways, and we can only control our organization with our people. I mean, we can't control what someone else says. Like for the more like know what no matter what color you are, whatever you carry or possess, I think for us, we focus on what's really amazing, if you're asking, is how Clark is handling all of this media attention. She's not just a novice, bumbling through interviews. Rather, she's taking on these challenging topics head-on while constantly redirecting emphasis on what matters most. It's similar to observing an experienced professional at work. I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing. Good things in the league. Let's talk about the good players. I can guarantee you there are people are going to be like that. Again, let's talk about the fact that these trolls are trolls. Let's talk about all the good fans. Let's talk about all the new. She is about the most media-savvy sports entity I have seen, and these two are teaching everyone how to deal with problems like pros, not simply talking the talk. However, you know what? That's not even the most bizarre aspect. Clark's ability to see the larger picture is quite remarkable. She is thinking about the league as a whole, not just herself or her team, she said. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing we can do. NBA players have endured this season. This was her answer. He should have asked her about the hate that she receives as a straight white player in the league. She can navigate these situations. Now, James Boyd did acknowledge after the fact there's so many great players and teams, and obviously that is the best thing this is. She basically said, "Do you recall that I mentioned there was more to this tale?" On the court, Clark and Mitchell are creating something very unique. The stats will astound you, and they're not just playing the game, they're redefining it together. These two formidable teams score 37.7 points every game on average. Isn't that impressive? Music. However, after the Olympic break, they have increased their scoring to 51.3 points per game, the highest in the league for a backcourt combo. Not only is Clark scoring, but she's also creating history by averaging 37.3 points per game, which is more than any player in league history. Furthermore, Mitchell isn't merely a passenger. She is the player you want with the ball in crucial situations when the game is on the line. Mitchell is shooting an amazing 62.5% when the game is within 5 points in the final 5 minutes. That's cash in the bank. The fact that Clark Mitchell is beginning to be compared to all-time greats is absolutely wonderful. Are you familiar with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry? They're being referred to by fans as the Splash Sisters, which is a fitting moniker for their style of play. It's fast-paced, constantly in motion, and constantly searching for the ideal shot. It's like poetry in action. They are reviving basketball's excitement there. On the court, they have a unique chemistry. Imagine that Clark is 3/4 of the court away from the basket with the ball. She lofts a pass that lands squarely in Mitchell's palms. Mitchell isn't finished, though. In a game against the Dallas Wings, she successfully completes a behind-the-back pass for a layup. It's the kind of play that compels you to rewind your television so you can watch it again. Here's the issue, though. It involves more than simply eye-catching moves. As a rookie, Mitchell is also watching out for Clark off the court, making sure she feels secure both physically and psychologically. That's collaboration that extends beyond the game. You would think that their game would be affected by all of this upheaval in the league, wouldn't you? Prepare for a surprise then. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark aren't dismissing the controversy for their performance. They're using it like rocket fuel. They are laser-focused on the important things, giving it their all and supporting their team. They appear to be wearing blinkers, but in the greatest way imaginable. They are unaffected by all the talk about fan behavior. Rather, they are using all of that energy to improve as players. Mitchell is standing at her side, setting an example. She doesn't waste time on uncontrollable stuff. Rather than music, she is concentrating on what is truly important, winning games with this group. By reminding everyone that it's about cooperation, perseverance, and seizing every chance, they're establishing a strong tone. Their commitment to the game and to one another is incredibly motivating. Fan support for them is therefore not surprising. Clark is discussing more than simply the advantages. But Coming out and saying this entire narrative you're hearing is a joke. It's organization and us winning games, and that's what we did. But for the most part, we don't condone that. Like I said, I comment before like it's a lot of things that try to come in this building and to pull us apart that we just didn't let. However, and they were real professional, and guess what? They're getting just destroyed over. That's the kind of concentration that turns competent players into legendary ones. This is where things start to become very interesting though. In addition to being excellent basketball players, Clark and Mitchell are revolutionizing the discourse surrounding the game. They are effectively creating a new playbook for being a top athlete in the 21st century by demonstrating to everyone how to deal with difficult circumstances with poise and professionalism. When you consider that these two are facing accusations that have the potential to upend the entire league, you can see how much pressure they are under. However, they are rising above the drama rather than being entangled in it. They're trying to improve the league for everyone, stressing unity and concentrating on the positive aspects. Furthermore, their actions on the court support everything they say. So it's not just talk. They're producing highlight reels, breaking records, and playing some of the finest basketball of their careers. More than that, though, they are a fantastic example of true leadership. Clark is a master of elegance when it comes to managing media attention. She isn't avoiding difficult questions or providing prefabricated answers. She is taking on these challenges head-on while consistently focusing on what matters most: the game, the team, and the league. That's true character, not just excellent publicity. So many of the teammates are unbelievable people. I'll put Erica Wheeler on that. Like if you're asking, this organization and us winning games, and that's what we did. But for the most part, we don't condone that. So for us, our year has been blocked out longer than most people, if that make any sense. Person of the year in the WNBA. Not my freaking seeing two young stars not only succeed on the court, but also promote the ideals that will improve the WNBA and women's sports in general is encouraging. Mitchell is standing by her side, exemplifying what it takes to be a real team player. She's not only trying to protect herself as a rookie, she is ensuring that Clark feels secure both physically and mentally. Here's the actual deal though. Mitchell and Clark aren't just playing for their squad or for themselves. They are considering the league as a whole. She still just got hate, but at least now they can't. It's going to be hard to see how they twist their words. And one thing is she's done nothing. She's done nothing but try to uplift the league, defend everyone around her, but like she has defended people cheaping her. She sometimes in the Kennedy Carr situation, she has defended someone who realistically two sportsmen who are redefining what it means to be a professional, are being watched by fans. Mitchell and Clark are proving that you can be both excellent role models off the court and strong competitors on it. They exemplify the essence of a sport, demonstrating that greatness in sports